Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen with a quick video looking at a dev response talking about the CryEngine versus the StarEngine, the unofficial name for the Star Citizen engine that has sort of now branched off from the Lumberyard engine, which was CryEngine based, and Star Citizen was originally using the CryEngine 3.8 before that. I commonly get questions asking what the actual StarEngine does and what have they added to it, why are they using this sort of like CryEngine offshoot, even if they've edited it heavily, why didn't they make their own engine, stuff like that. So there is some quite interesting information from Cloud Imperium's Clive Johnson, who replied to a question just saying what sort of changed in the original CryEngine and Lumberyard engine offshoots, what have you added to it, what does it enable you to do. This has resulted in a giant list of things and bespoke changes that they have made to the Lumberyard and CryEngine since they got it to turn it into what is deemed unofficially the StarEngine. This is not an exhaustive list and only includes items that have either been completed or have a working iteration that CryEngine are using. Also down below I will link starcitizen.tools, the wiki there, because that has details on each of the specific items that I'm going to talk about very briefly in a lot more detail, because some of these things I assume either people know or are very minor, but some I will elaborate on very briefly as well. So there's performance and scale features like 64-bit precision and entity ID conversion, allowing for the massive scale of the Star Citizen play area, because you've got giant planets and you've got these huge areas of space. There's physics grids, zone culling systems, game rules and game mode refactoring. There's memory manager, batch and background workers to use your PC resources sensibly, fiber support, build system, crash handlers, object containers and client and server object container streaming, allowing for a sensible resource efficient way to have items loaded in and out seamlessly for the game so that Star Citizen doesn't have to have loading screens beyond the initial load, and eventually that should allow for lots and lots more players as they build more and more tech onto that with like server meshing. There's mega maps, entity components, hierarchies, aggregates and lifetime policies, allowing entities to communicate more efficiently with the game simulation, asynchronous entity spawning and removal, update scheduler, bind culling, so that only tracks entities that are nearby a client, for example. Spawn batches, serialized variables, so just sending variable data changes to the client and server, so that saves on bandwidth. Network message queue, entitlement system, matchmaking, lag compensation, parallel network processing, headless clients, which are artificial clients that can be used for stress tests or to see how a system operates. You can like test concurrency, and it basically performs the same sort of actions an actual client would, but in a more, simpler way. It's not a real client, it's an artificial client. Network entity replication, client crash recovery, diffusion, which is the sort of back-end cloud services, the general instance manager, persistence, the item system, vehicle system, actor system, data core, which I don't actually know what is. I assume it's their internal databases for some of the stuff, maybe. Weapon systems, transit system, the IFCS, so the flight model stuff, the air traffic control, mission system, AI and subsumption, GPU particles, motion blur, deferred rendering, lighting, shadow and volumetric rendering, planetary tech, weather effects, telemetry and data processing, their audio engine, render to texture tech, which allows them to sort of like have real-time streaming of videos and scenes to screens, and then that projected in game rather than as a post-process on top of a screen, if you see what I mean. Fluid and cloth simulation, water and ocean rendering, VoIP and FOIP, so voice over IP and face over IP, the DNA character customizer, the removal of the older Lua legacy code, UI and building blocks stuff, so obviously the building block system is the new way they do build UIs. Sign distance fields, so tracking distance data for effects and entities so that you can have more dynamic looking shields or effects that deform around a ship or whatever they need to. Their camera and animation systems, unification of first and third person perspectives. That's actually quite a big thing and is very cool. That does mean that where you're pointing or where you're looking, someone else can see directly what you're looking at, from effectively being able to trace your perspective to whatever you're looking at and whatever you're doing much more accurately. However, that does cause a whole host of network problems and things like that that they need to solve, and it's very much a fidelity and cool sort of thing over system performance there. Anyway, that's just my opinion on that. There's the Delta Patcher. I remember the days when we were required to re-download the entirety of Star Citizen even for minor patches, or pretty much. Star map, quantum travel, more shaders than you can shake a stick at, debug server renderer stuff, attachment systems so you can, modify your items, atmospheric rendering, melee combat, the cover system, interaction system, room system, which sort of like has the atmosphere and gas changes and tracked as you open doors between rooms and areas. So if you open a door on a ship and it vents all the atmosphere out into space. Actor system, so this is hunger, thirst, oxygen all being tracked. All the mobiGlas apps, all that sort of stuff as well. There's much more, not to mention all the tools, scripts, backend services, and web services needed to create and edit content, build the executables and asset files, deploy the servers, download clients, and allow the game to actually run. Server meshing is not on that list, you will have noticed, because it's still being worked on. It doesn't have its first iteration yet, and Cloud Imperium are working on things like the Gen 12 renderer and Vulkan integration, which should see significantly better client-side frame rates and much more scalable experience across lots of different computer ranges. There were some questions here as well. Are you using new things from new Lumberyard updates, or does the fork that you have make that more difficult? Having so many bespoke changes would make integrating changes from Lumberyard very difficult, if not impossible in some cases. There would need to be a careful evaluation of whether the gain outweighed the effort required, or it would be easier/better to develop our own solution. As far as I'm aware, we haven't integrated anything new from Lumberyard. I'm assuming that's new from Lumberyard since the original Switch. With the benefit of hindsight, would have building a new engine from scratch have been the better decision, or for what reasons was using CryEngine and Lumberyard preferable? The benefit of starting with an existing engine is that it allowed us to fairly quickly get a base level of functionality up and running, and then that could be built on. Building an engine from scratch is a massive undertaking, and for most of it, you have very little to show apart from some basic looking tech demos. Does this mean that the StarEngine is basically now all C++? Yes, apart from the shaders and scripting of missions and AI behavior via subsumption, it's all C++. And that's it. I just wanted to have a quick video for some of the references of bespoke parts of that StarEngine and give people a link to starcitizen.tools so they could find any bits they wanted to do a bit more research. There are going to be a lot more bits added to this bespoke list in the future. Are you impressed with the work Cloud Imperium are doing with the StarEngine? Are you worried it's going to be dated before Star Citizen releases? Do you think Star Citizen should have made their own engine? I know some people saw the new Unreal Engine demo stuff and said, wow, Star Citizen should have used this, but that demo wasn't using an actual game. It was sort of like a engine demo, a tech demo, rather than this is a game using this. Do you see what I mean? Whatever your thoughts though, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For June it's for an Espiritavar Prowler dropship and Star Citizen game package, kindly supplied by Cloud Imperium. Just comment on any of my videos made during June to be in for a chance of winning that. Oh, what's that? What am I shilling for? This month, you ask? Well, the same thing I shill for every month. If you need a VPN, then check out NordVPN. It's a cheap, fast, and has a load of benefits over free VPN services. Consider it for security, privacy, protection, content accessibility, and even to help with bandwidth limits. You also get a shipload of money off via the links below. I am BoredGamer. I was going to go with BoredVPN, but that didn't sound right. BoredGamer sounds perfect for my shillingness. Also, if you're looking for a gaming PC or a gaming PC upgrade, instead consider Shadow. It's a subscription-based service that starts around $11 or £12 or some euros, and that streams a Windows 10 system to your device, be it another PC, laptop, phone, or TV, using the powers of the internet, and there's a wide range of hardware to meet your needs. It means you don't have to maintain your own rig, so if you dream of 4K gaming and you don't want to break the bank, it's an option. All their services are very suitable for Star Citizen, but there may be a waiting list based on what country and state you are in.